Bienvenue to Cinemonde Soiree number 14. I'm Ashley Wren Collins, greeting you from the Roger Smith Hotel at 47th Street and Lexington Avenue in beautiful New York City on a very chilly December evening. Tonight we're going to be enjoying fine wines, spirits, and hors d'oeuvres, and of course, cinema. Join me as we head upstairs.
First piece is a 8-minute animation about my brother that was killed in Iraq. It was done on a chalkboard, a 3x4 sheeted slate, and I drew continuously for about 4.5 months and told the story through that medium.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Thank you for being here this evening with the North American premiere of Les Petits Nicolas, a very popular children's book. Tell us how that story came to you and to be adapted and you to direct it.
Actually, it's my producers that got the idea of the project. I'd been reading Les Petits Nicolas when I was a kid, like pretty much everybody in France. And when they mentioned it, I could immediately picture in my head the kind of movie that it would be. And so we went together to meet the woman who owns the rights to the book. And they would like to make a movie out of the book. And she said, well, I've had many offers over the last 20 years. A lot of people have offered me money to do it, but no one's ever came up with a story that convinced me. And so I said, okay. We came back 2 months later, and I pitched her a story, how I see the movie, and that convinced her.
So what was it like working with so many children? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they had never acted before, none of them. But I wanted that. I wanted I'd met some kids who had already acted, and I didn't like it. It felt fabricated. So I wanted kids that had never acted, and therefore I had to train them before the movie,
right?
To act the way I wanted them to act. And of course, kids, they get very easily distracted, so
right.
They get tired, they wouldn't focus, they would, it's okay, I can deal with that. It's easier to deal than
adult problems.
Yeah, than people having too much ego or wanting to discuss the scene for hours and hours. The days were actually short, the shooting days were actually short, but I would always go home at night exhausted. Yeah.
Right. Now I know you studied filmmaking at NYU, and you wrote a book that were conversations with filmmakers. And in your experience of interviewing some of those directors, what did you learn in interviewing them about their process or about filmmaking?
The main thing that I learned, which was really important actually for me, was that there isn't one way of making films. Each of them had their own way of making films, a different way of making films, and obviously you could see from the result that it worked. So the good thing was, that I could find my own way of making film, or at least even if I had my own way of making film, and it was different from theirs, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
It was a relief in a way.
Tell us just a little bit about what you're working on now or next.
I'm adapting a comic book again. A very famous comic book, a French comic book called Asterix.
Okay.
That's the next project which I'm shooting in April. And there's talk of a sequel to Petit Nicolas. We'll start working on that.
Well, we thank you so much for being here to share Les Petits Nicolas with us this evening. It means a lot to the audience of Cinemonde, and we're thrilled to have you.
My son reads it all the time, and so it was perfect.
Welcome to Cinemonde.
Thank you.
And let me ask you quickly, before the movie starts, we're a few minutes before it starts, and I want to know, What made you come today and what's your relationship to Cinemonde?
I met Jerry at an event, Mauboussin, and he was interested because I'm an owner of French mini pastries business. He was interested in having some French pastry for event with the French movies, and today is a perfect opportunity with Le Petit Nicolas, so I'm very happy to be the provider of today and to come also to this really great place. The first time with my daughter.
How did you girls like the movie? You liked it? Mm-hmm. Yeah? What is your name?
Eli Schills.
And how old are you?
I'm 9.
You're 9, and did you like the movie today?
Yeah.
Le Petit Nicolas, you enjoyed it? Was it funny?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about how Cinemonde got started.
Well, it started about 2 years ago now as an attempt to get people in the film business, or people who want to be in the film business, together, watch a good film, drink some nice wines and champagnes and spirits, and eat some nice food, and support a film that needed some help.
When you choose a movie, what is it that says this movie is for Cinemonde?
I have to love the movie, you know. It's like everything I do in my life. I like to really want to stand up in front of an audience and say, I love this movie and I want to share it with you. It's very much like the champagne, which I tasted and picked out tonight. The wines, the foods, everything is selected because I want to share it with our cinemonders, our audience, our participants. And it's like inviting someone to your home. It's kind of a total package. Food, drink, friendship, cordiality, and the film. Number one being the film.
Tonight we're seeing Laurent Théraud's Le Petit Nicolas, which is based on a famous French book. It's the North American premiere.
It's the North American premiere and the New York premiere. It's never been seen in this country because the French distributors think that a subtitled movie for young people would have difficulty, and I'm trying to prove them wrong. I'm not sure, but everyone who has seen this film, we had an earlier screening for children and for parents. They loved it, and I hope that Cinemonde, in the way I told you earlier that we're trying to be, helpful at an opportune moment, I hope that our screening tonight will prove that there is an audience in America for this movie.
With all the blockbuster films that get made today and with tough economic times, independent film does seem to struggle, but we still need it. What do you have to say about that?
I think we need a choice, and I think America, from its very beginnings, has been about offering choice. That's what liberty is. If you don't have choice, then what good is liberty? There were many more foreign movies available to see in the 60s and 70s than there are now, curiously enough. Yes, we get foreign movies, but it's very small. Only about 1.5% of the entire box office in the States are foreign language movies. So that's what Cinemonde's about. It's about trying to get those films and show people those films. And that's always been the feeling I had when I started the whole festival, based on my heroes who are, you didn't ask, but I'll tell you, John Cassavetes, Godard, of course, Truffaut in France. These guys were making very personal films when, the studios were making these big Cleopatra type mega budget movies, and these guys said there is an audience for these kind of movies, and they were right. Cheers to independent cinema. Laurent, please. We don't want you to go back with your hands empty, so we're going to give you the Roger Cinemonde Award. Do you have a fireplace in France? No. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming over from Paris to join us. Please enjoy Little Nicolas, the Petit Nicolas.
So here we are wrapping up yet another wonderful Cinemonde, where you have an opportunity to have great drinks, meet with friends, and watch great cinema, and best of all, have the opportunity to have intelligent dialogue and conversation with the filmmakers themselves. Only at Jerry Rudis' Cinemonde. Happy holidays, have a wonderful new year, and we'll see you in January with a new Cinemonde. Bonne nuit.
Come to Cinemonde next time.